Hi and welcome to Best in Tesla. So Toyota admits that hydrogen on all levels have been a failure for passenger cars. This is a big moment in the history of hydrogen, when even Toyota's chief technology officer is saying, "I can't say for sure that it's a bright future for hydrogen." Wow, we know that hydrogen has just been knocked out and is down for the count. But we also know that Toyota is forced to continue this death spiral with hydrogen as Japan has bet its decarbonization goals on this fuel. This could be devastating for Toyota and Japan. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. So things are definitely turning around. Toyota is rethinking its bet on hydrogen. Wow. The world's largest car maker is pivoting to commercial vehicles after passenger car failed to gain traction. What do you know? I have only been making videos about this for 5 years, trying to tell the world that hydrogen will never work. And here we are, and Toyota is finally giving in on passenger cars at least. So I wonder if this changes BMW's plan for having passenger hydrogen cars in production in 2028, because they teamed up with Toyota to make it happen. But anyway, let them drive that train. But as they wrote in this article, in 2014, Toyota then-President Akio Toyoda said he had seen the future and that the release of the Mirai, the company's flagship hydrogen vehicle, would mark a turning point for the automotive industry. After selling just 27,500 hydrogen cars over the following decade, the world's biggest automaker is no longer so certain. "I can't say for sure that it's a bright future for hydrogen," Hiroki Nakayama, something like that, chief technology officer at Toyota, told reporters at the Fiji Speedway racetrack in Japan in November. But even as most other major car makers have gone fully electric, Toyota believes that ultimately hydrogen will still carve out a significant role in decarbonizing transport. "If we give up on hydrogen technology, we risk giving up on the future," he said. No, we really don't. As part of this pivot to hydrogen-powered trucks, buses and vans, Toyota unveiled a prototype hydrogen electric hybrid van in November, which is the first of a kind and will be tested in Australia. That I also made a video about back then when it came out. And Toyota is also working with Isuzu Motors to mass produce a light-duty hydrogen fuel cell truck later this decade, and has secured deals to supply hydrogen buses in Tokyo, Strasbourg and Madrid. On all levels, hydrogen has been a failure for passenger cars, said James Hong, head of Asia Energy Transition and Commodities at Macquarie's Capital. Where we still haven't got the answer yet is on commercial vehicles and stationary storage energy demand. Yes, we have. As I have mentioned many times before, the only hydrogen that is sustainable is green hydrogen, and that will always, and I mean always, be at least 3 to 5 times more expensive to produce than just using the electricity directly in our vehicles. And that doesn't change just because the vehicles get bigger. And as they also wrote, hydrogen vehicles cells generate electricity through chemicals reactions between hydrogen and oxygen, leaving nothing but water vapor coming out of the tailpipe. As well as generating zero carbon emission, hydrogen-powered vehicles are quicker to refuel than EVs, and for heavy vehicles have a longer driving range. Well, the range thing is not really true. The Mirai had a shorter range than the new long-range Model 3 rear-wheel drive. So the range of these hydrogen vehicles is not really that impressive. And the best hydrogen truck on the market I have seen today is the one made in collaboration between Toyota and Kenworth that has a range of up to 450 miles of range, but that is without cargo. That is the best on the market. And that is without any load. As Kenwood writes on their own website, the T680 fossil fuel cell electric vehicle has a range of about 300 plus miles of range when fully loaded with 82,000 pounds. We have seen Pepsi do more than 400 miles fully loaded with the Tesla semi-truck. So no, the range is not better on the hydrogen trucks than the electric ones. Yes, if you take a bad one that only have a couple of hundred miles, sure, but comparing the best hydrogen truck in the world to the best electric truck in the world, the electric one wins. And the filling time is not really much better as a Tesla semi-truck either, as we have learned from Pepsi using the truck in real life. As they said, their Pepsi representatives say that the ICE truck drivers got accustomed to the electric Tesla semi-truck very quickly, pointed out the interior accoutrements or equipment, as well as a central driver's seat placed at a high observation point. One of the drivers also mentioned that the fast charging ability of the Tesla semi-truck as a big advantage, as he is able to take the electric truck to 95% in 20 or 30 minutes from like 5 to 10% of battery capacity. Well, Kenworth write that they can fill up the hydrogen truck in the short time of 15 to 20 minutes. So you will save like 5 to 10 minutes at best. And one thing the Tesla semi-truck can do that the hydrogen cannot is that Tesla can install mega chargers at the loading dock. So when it is sitting idling for 30 minutes anyway, when it's getting offloaded or unloaded, it will be fully charged and ready to go when they're done. So there really is no advantage for the hydrogen truck either. And the cost of filling them up will at least be 3 to 5 times more expensive. What company is ever going to pay 3 to 5 times more to fill up their trucks? The answer is no one. They will be uncompetitive if they do. As the T680 hydrogen has 58.8 kilograms of hydrogen tanks just behind the cabin, as you can see here. And don't forget, all of those 6 tanks are filled with a pressure of 10,000 psi. If they explode, there will be nothing left of this hydrogen truck. I do not want to drive such a huge hydrogen bomb. But anyway, the average cost of hydrogen in the US is about $13 per kilogram. So this truck would cost about $765 to fill up, whereas the average price for business or commercial rate on electricity is reported to be around 13 cents per kilowatt hour. So filling up the Tesla semi-truck's 850 kilowatt hours of battery capacity would cost about $110, being about 7 times cheaper to run, but getting the same amount of mileage. So 3 to 5 times better, as I keep saying, is the best case scenario. Does anyone really think that Pepsi, with a fleet of 10,000 semi-trucks, is willing to pay 7 times the rate for filling up a truck? So Pepsi will save about $655 per truck per 550 miles. And according to Tractor Trailer Training, the average truck driver in the US drive around 125,000 miles every year. So let's just say 100,000 miles to keep it simple and conservative. So Pepsi would save something like $145,000 every year per truck. That would be $1.45 billion saved every year for their fleet of 10,000 trucks. Every year, not just 1 year, every year. No one is going to pay that extra to get nothing in return. I know a hydrogen truck with no cargo just did a Guinness World Record by driving 1,800 miles on one full tank. But that tank was also about 3 times the size of the T680, so a whopping 175 kilos of 10,000 psi pressure hydrogen tanks within that truck. So firstly, that is just insane driving around with such a huge hydrogen bomb. Not even if it catches fire, just the pressure alone. But second of all, that would also cost about $2,275 to fill up. So sure, you could also get the range of the Tesla semi-truck up by jamming in more batteries. But as Pepsi has also shown us, you don't really need more range. They have been able to shift out their diesel truck 1-to-1 with their Tesla semi-truck, with no compromises. So range is not a problem. The filling time is not a problem. But the cost of a hydrogen truck will always be a problem. As they also write in this article, despite government support in countries around the world, the hydrogen ecosystem remains small, with few large projects to produce the fuel reaching construction. Yes, as I have reported on, so many hydrogen projects dying because it is simply too costly and complex to keep them running, and no demand for it. As a result, hydrogen fuel cells are not mass-produced and costs have stayed high. And most hydrogen today is still grey hydrogen, which means it's made from fossil fuel, so even more polluting than just running a diesel truck because the whole system is so inefficient. Meanwhile, the price of EVs has been driven down by fierce competition in China and breakthrough in battery technology. When you now have technology that already works, is super cheap, and is good enough, lithium-ion batteries, you have to question the necessity for investing in a whole new supply chain, said Sam Adham, analyst at the CRU Group Consultancy. Yes, exactly. But the problem is that Toyota cannot just let this one go completely, because, as they also mention in this article, the failure of hydrogen-powered cars to go mainstream has not only been a setback for Toyota and Hyundai after pouring billions of dollars into the technology, but also for Japan and Korea, which have pinned their decarbonization strategy on this fuel. Yes, Japan needs this to work, but the physics just don't pan out and will forever be too expensive. And as Anna Sophia, a hydrogen expert at the Center of Global Energy Policy, said, it will be a question of cost and the availability of truck and buses. The jury is still out, but every year the electric solution is gaining an advantage. Yes, but the jury is not out. As she said, it would be a question of cost, and that is what guides all businesses on this planet. Cost. So the jury is in. The cost of running a Tesla semi-truck versus a hydrogen truck like the T680 is 7 times cheaper just on the fuel. So if it is a question of cost, the pure electric truck will win. And if it's a question of availability, well, this year Tesla will turn on their Tesla semi-truck factory that they have built during the last year and is aiming to produce around 50,000 units a year from this factory, maybe already in 2026. So no matter how we look at it, the jury is in. Tesla semi-truck for the win. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.